Good morning, Busy Bees. Miss Hevis here. I just got back from my run. I am participating in a program called Carolinas Together, where I run a certain number of miles each week and total it up and send it into the race company, and they are holding like a virtual race. So while we can't get together and run races, we can run on our own in our own neighborhoods and stuff, and they put it together. The problem is that my watch GPS stopped tracking my miles for this week. So I don't know how far I've run. I don't know what to submit to the race people. So I have gone back and looked at all of the maps for the courses that I've run and the trails that I've run, and I know how many times I've run each trail, but I don't know the total distance that I've gone. So I need you to help me multiply the decimals for the trails by the number of times I ran each trail to help me figure out what my total miles is so I can submit it. All right, so my favorite trail to run, the one I ran today, is the Lake Trail. It's 0.8 of a mile long, and I ran it 3 times. So we're going to multiply 0.8 times 3, like this. 0.8 times 3. Okay, so we know that a tenth can be shown on a hundreds grid, and these hundreds grids are not divided into hundreds because I very clearly have drawn them. They're not perfect, but they will help us to see what we're working with. Okay, so we've got 0.8 times 3. So I ran the 0.8 of a mile track 3 times. So I can color in on each one of these grids for each tenth. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths, and then I ran it again. I ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths. And then again, I ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths. Okay, so now I can count up all of those tenths that I just ran, right? I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I ran 24 tenths of a mile. Now, 24 tenths. Okay, 8 tenths looks like this. 24 tenths means that I ran 2 whole miles. If I were to put these together into whole grids, it would be 2 whole miles, and then I would have 4 tenths of a mile left over. So that would mean that I ran 2 and 4 tenths miles today. Okay, there are 2 other ways that we can figure this out and solve this problem. One of those ways is to use a number line. So down here I've got my number line drawn out. Again, it's not perfect, but it does show you. I know I haven't run more than 3 miles. So I've got mile 1, mile 2, mile 3, and each mile is broken down into tenths of a mile. And that's how my watch would normally track it, but it's not working. So we're going to start at 0, and we're going to jump along the number line, and each jump is going to represent one of my times around the trail. So my first jump is going to be 0.8 tenths of a mile. So I'll count 0.8 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put a mark right here, and I know that my jump started at 0, and I landed at 0.8 tenths of a mile. Now from there, I ran 8 more tenths of a mile when I ran my second lap around. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put my mark and make my jump along the number line. Now I ran it one more time, so I've got to make one more jump on my number line. So we'll count 8 more tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And put my mark, make my jump. And using the number line also shows us that I've run 1 whole mile, 2 whole miles, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths of a mile. So using this strategy, I also got that I ran 2 and 4 tenths miles, which is awesome because that's just showing that I can use different strategies and get the same answer for my multiplication problem. Now, the way that your parents might remember doing this from when they were in school, the way that I remember doing this when I was in school, multiplying these decimals, would be to say 0.8 tenths times 3. Okay, so I know that I can rewrite this as 0.8 tenths. And I can do 0.8 tenths times 3. So really I'm taking the decimal out by calling it 0.8 tenths, okay? And I'm doing 8 times 3. Now, mathematicians, what is 8 times 3? We know that is 24. If you said 24, you're exactly right. Okay, so then I started with 0.8 times 3. So this would be 24 tenths. So again, I end up with 24 tenths. And if I were to put these tenths into groups of 10, that would make one whole, right? One whole block. So I have 2 whole blocks of 10, 2 whole miles, and then 4 tenths of a mile left over. Okay, so I ran 2 and 4 tenths of a mile. Okay, so these are 3 different strategies you can use to help me solve the rest of my problems for the rest of the miles that I've run for the week. Good luck. Thank you for your help.